Hello Libra, and welcome to your reading for the weeks of August 6th through 19th, 2024. This is a reading if you are a Libra Sun, Libra Moon, Libra Rising, or have another significant Libra placement in your chart. If you're new to this channel, welcome. It's good to have you. And if you're returning, welcome back. In addition to tarot videos, I also post my morning live streams. Sometimes I'm a couple days behind. I do them most mornings unless I'm away for some reason. But I do them 6:30 every morning on my Instagram account, transition.life.coaching, and I upload those videos here. I also upload my channelings with Archangel Azrael. To learn more about all my work, including all my healing work and anything that I do with readings, astrology, human design, everything that I do check the description, my website, which is in the description box below, and also my social media links are there as well. So now getting on to this particular time period, we will have just been coming out of a new moon on August the 4th in Leo. During this period of time, we are hitting a period called the Lion's Gate, which is when the Sun, Sirius, well, the Earth, Sun, Earth, Sirius, and Orion are all in line with each other. And this happens every year. And the 8th is the peak. So this is, because it is in Leo, it is referred to as the Lion's Gate. And we also have a Mercury retrograde going on. So there's a lot of different stuff happening this month. And I feel like the influence, the Lion's Gate is usually a very, very transformational point in time. And a lot will depend on your chart and your connection to these kinds of energies. But certainly this new moon, even with the Mercury retrograde, is very transformative and is going to be a time to move ahead for a lot of people. There's going to be this, it's going to be just a couple days after this reading, but whatever you started at the new moon, like that is definitely putting you in a place where you are, you're very well positioned to make a new start from that point. Just being always aware, of course, that retrograde can bring delays in communication, travel. You need to watch your electronics. Probably not a good time to sign contracts or buy new electronics during this period of time. But again, everybody has to do what they have to do, but you just want to use an extra amount of caution because the chance for miscommunication and misinformation is very high. So so let's get on with your reading. I'm going to do a little experiment this week. Now, those of you who are familiar with this channel know that I use Mary Hope's Way of Cartouche deck, which is the one I've been using for ages. And so I like to start with this one because I'm the most familiar with it. It resonates with me. But rather than using a tarot deck, I've been experimenting with the Essential Oil Oracle. Now, again, if you're familiar with this channel, you know I will occasionally pull cards from this oracle. But typically it's just usually like a little oracle with a little inspirational message. But I'm finding I have experimented with it in this particular spread, which is a horoscope spread, and I've had some really interesting results. So if you'll indulge me today, I'm going to use that to clarify this reading, and our extra deck today will be the Black Moon astrology cards. So let's start just by looking at what Cartouche has to say. Okay, so you've got winged disc in the first house. That's the first thing I notice, and that's really great because that suggests that any kinds of situations having to do with personal health, with self-doubt, self-image, anything like that, winged disc indicates successfully overcoming obstacles. So I feel like this is your time to shine, Libra. You're going to be visible, you're going to be seen, and you are definitely going to come across as someone who's confident, somebody who's overcome obstacles. If you haven't been feeling that way, then there definitely seems to be a suggestion that you are going to be successful and that you are going to be seen. So yeah, this definitely brings a lot of clarity. I do feel like in the past weeks, and I can't remember if it was you or if I'm confusing it with other signs that I've done, but I feel like there was a lot of Nepothys energy, which is kind of like, okay, I'm moving into a new space and I don't really quite know who I am yet. This suggests finally getting there, finally getting the answer. Interesting that it's happening during a retrograde of Mercury, but Mercury retrograde can also be a time when we can go within and see things more clearly that way. Okay, Buckle of Isis is showing up in your house of communication. Speaking of Mercury retrograde, this is the Mercury house. And I feel like you've got this growth of the sacrifice. So I feel like this is saying, when it comes to certain communications, when it comes to certain things where maybe you are holding back or you're uncertain about whether or not you should act, or maybe even situations where you're unclear, this says to me that you want to speak up, you want to say something, okay? Don't, the sacrifice will be rewarded. In other words, any efforts that you're making, or if you're making communications with people, or maybe even working on a business, because this is also about self-employment, maybe there's something going on and you feel like you're not getting anywhere. This is saying your sacrifices will be rewarded. Whatever effort you make, it's going to be worth the effort. If there's going to be some delays or there's some things having to with communication, maybe somebody you're like, oh, gee, I don't want to reach out, I don't want to bother them. There's a suggestion here that reaching out and doing the thing is actually a good thing to do. That making the effort will be rewarded. I think hanging back, it might leave room for either misinformation or miscommunication or something like that. But I also feel like some of you may have made a sacrifice recently. Maybe you've ended a communication or separated something, and that was actually a good decision. Interesting, you've got the twins in your 8th house. Now, this could indicate relationship that's coming up, okay? Or this could mean a partnership or relationship of significance in your transformation, but it's also the house of joint finances. So the fact that this is showing up for some of you, this could mean a joint financial arrangement that's coming up. Again, don't know what that means. I don't know. It could mean a number of things. This could have to do with family money, inherited money, or just something that's coming out of some people who have, I don't know, if you're going to school and your family has like a fund for you for college or something. I don't know. There's some kind of joint arrangement here with money. It does not have to be family. Oftentimes it does have to do with legacies and so forth, but it can also just indicate being in a joint financial arrangement with someone, okay? And you have Hathor over here in the 2nd house, so I don't know if we're talking about a female. I don't know if we're talking about somebody's mother, if that makes sense. Again, take it as it resonates here. It's not, it doesn't have to be. This can also indicate, though, making money from from a career that maybe is more feminine in nature. So, whether it has to do with aesthetics, somebody who's a makeup artist, a hairdresser, or an esthetician of some kind, maybe somebody who works in fashion, maybe somebody who does something with something a little more domestic, like somebody who works for a bakery or as a chef or something like that. All these things that tend to be connected with domesticity tend to come out into the 2nd house. That could be the case. Again, does not have to be. If you're saying, nope, I don't do any of that kind of work, then this is probably a strong feminine influence. For some people, it could even be a mother influence. But I feel like Hathor just tends to be somebody who is just, very familiar, that provides a sense of security. Hathor definitely has to do with security, so that's a good thing to see in the 2nd house of Taurus. Can also have to do with getting things organized. So at the very least, this could mean that maybe you're trying to get a handle on your finances and organize some things. Interesting, because in your job and career areas, you do have the Ankh here. And so this could indicate moving into a career or job that you really, really love. And with Isis up here, there seems to be something, there's a whole lot up here around something very, very strongly feminine for some people. So I don't know. I don't know if you're moving in a job, healing kind of job, caretaking kind of job. Isis can also mean on its own just a situation where you have to be patient. Maybe if you're waiting for a promotion or waiting to find out something about a job, it could be saying, well, patience is required right now. But I don't know, very strong feminine energy here. And even the Ankh, this just has to do with following the heart. Now, there's another possible meaning of Ankh in the 6th house, and that could have to do with if you are worried about somebody with an illness. If there is somebody, and this does not have to be you, but if you've had any kind of chronic illness or you know somebody who's had a long-term illness and you're wondering about outlook or prognosis, Ankh is a very good card to get because it suggests a very long life, okay? So just throwing that out there. If that has been a worry for anybody here, this could indicate that you're going to have a very long life or that somebody around you is. So, so take that as it resonates. Relationships are interesting. Now, I don't know if this is a relationship or a creative project. I'm kind of feeling like I feel like this might be more on the creative side for people, but you can take it as it resonates. We have Seth here. Okay, so in the 5th house, this could mean recognition that's blocked. It could indicate needing to work on a creative project but having all kinds of obstacles, maybe feeling like something isn't working out the way that you want it to. or at least maybe you're feeling like maybe you even want to delay or give up. It's interesting because if this is a creative project and this has to do with business, then this would be saying, again, your efforts will be worth it. And in fact, you have it with Horus. So Horus does seem to indicate that there's something about this that has to do with either some kind of creative work. If it does have to do with the relationship, maybe there's healing. I mean, I don't know, maybe if you're interested in somebody and it seems like it's not going to go anywhere, it could be that this person right now is still healing from something, and there's certain things. So certainly there at least will be a delay. Now, for those of you where this might have to do with the relationship, we have Urias over here in the 7th house, which is the house of Libra. And the direct message I got reading this was that, okay, there's going to be something like delays in love, where there's a problem, maybe even there's been a breakup recently, or just some kind of a problem. But Horus does seem to indicate, healing that will take place, a problem that's overcome. Maybe if you feel like you're not being recognized by somebody, this is saying, yes, you will be, or you are, or that you're seen as somebody charismatic or attractive, or that kind of a thing. Yeah, in which case Urias would indicate that things are not what they appear to be. That's what came into my mind, that this pairing, I think there's something that looks like it's not good and it's not going anywhere, or you think, oh, this person's not interested in me, they're not attracted to me, they don't like me. This would be suggesting that that isn't true, but that this person is kind of keeping it to themselves right now. They're not showing it, they're not being obvious. Urias is about, things, what the appearance does not match the reality. So it's saying there may be something going on. Sometimes this is even somebody who's like watching you from a distance or admiring you, not in a creepy sort of way, but maybe somebody who's watching you, but they may be obstacles to them putting themselves forward right now. If this is about a creative project, then I feel like Horus is a really good omen, because it's saying whatever obstacles you're facing, you will eventually overcome. Horus manages to overcome obstacles and get the visibility and the reputation that is deserved, okay? In fact, yeah, there's a lot around. If this is about a business or a career, it does seem like the works that you are putting in are going to go somewhere. Overall, you're being tested. I mean, you got Pyramid in the center here. So this is a matter of things coming together in time. So I just feel like you are, you're going to get to where you need to go to. Again, with retrogrades and maybe just even with other stuff just needing to come in at the right time. In fact, we see Thoth in the 12th house here. So there's a lot here around timing and around things happening at the right time. And again, Thoth is spiritual healing in the 12th house as well. So I just feel like there's a lot of soul repair that's going on right now, that there's a lot of things. Maybe there's certain karmic debts that are being paid off, certain things that are, but again, to me, there's a strong sense of things happening when they're supposed to. And I feel like the Pyramid card in the center really supports that. You may be being a little protective when it comes to your friends. Maybe you've been putting up a few boundaries with people. Just kind of keeping to yourself. I mean, being friendly. Anubis is a very, very friendly card in the Libra house. But there may be some situations with certain people or even certain associations that maybe you don't consider them friends per se, but maybe acquaintances or people in your social network, social media network, where maybe you're showing a little bit more care and caution. And probably a good idea during retrograde to be that way. Now we've got, home situation or family situation. There seems to be a peaceful continuity of something, or at least there'll be the calming of the mind about something. So if something's been going on with that, this is saying don't worry, things are going to be okay. And you have Scarab up here in the 9th house, which is the Sagittarius house. That's Jupiter energy, so that's long distance travel, higher education, and also spirituality too for some people, if you are spiritually inclined. We have Scarab, so there's a new beginning of some kind. So I don't know if this is a move, if this is a trip abroad for some people, although Lotus seems to indicate continuity, so I'm not sure that I think there's going to be a move right now. But it does seem like there's going to be some kind of new opportunity or new beginning. So maybe somebody's starting school, maybe somebody's found a new spiritual place, could be a new church, a new meditation place, a new something, whatever spirituality is for you. It could be some kind of a new venue that you are going to. Or there's some kind of a new beginning with regard to education in some way. So very interesting here. So this is where we're starting off. And now let's let's start flipping cards to see what what clarifies this particular reading. That's the word. Ooh, a lot of gold cards here. Oh my gosh, even more. Okay, because I know there's various colors here, but it's funny how we're getting a lot of these same colors. And I will look at these and I will see what they seem to be with regard to this. Yeah, mostly gold. And honestly, I don't know I'd have to actually read the book on this deck, because you generally don't have to, but I don't recall her saying that the colors had any kind of a special meaning. But it's interesting here that you've got a lot of gold and you've got some blue, you got a couple green. Okay, so let's start at the beginning here. So, okay, so along with the wing disc, you have the massage card, massage oil. And the key word here is ease. The trigger statement is, I have to make this work. The true statement is, I am at ease with life. You need to ease your grip on life so it can lead the way. There is an outcome brighter than you can imagine. Okay, so that would suggest to me that wing disc is that there may be a determination to succeed here. You may be saying, like, you know, you may have your goals now and say, okay, I'm not going to let anything stop me from reaching my goals. But what this is saying is that, yes, you should feel driven towards your goals, but the way to do it is to kind of take the foot off the gas a little bit and let life come in and do certain things, okay? So if you just allow yourself to kind of step back and trust opportunities that are going to come in, that's going to be more benefit than maybe trying to push too hard. With finances, we have the Melaleuca oil, okay, with the Hathor card. And the keyword is evolution. The trigger statement is things will never change. And then it says, I attract only what is for my highest good. And it says, imbalances and relationships that have been keeping you down are no longer needed. You are ready to transform. Interesting. Okay, so with Hathor, I mean, this could be a female energy or influence that maybe you've let go of recently. Maybe if there has been somebody who's been supporting you financially, maybe you're cutting ties. But the fact that it says things will never change in the finance house, okay, that suggests to me that there is a worry. You know, this is coming up because you may feel like you need to get things organized here, or maybe, you know, doing certain kinds of work, or maybe even you're reaching out to somebody to help you with this. But I associate this, even though this is more of a Taurus card, I kind of associate this also with Virgo. And Virgo energy is worrying energy. So that's why there's a need to kind of get the details right and to organize everything. And it seems like there's a feeling that things are not going to change. But the suggestion here is that you want to attract, you know, it's saying you can attract the change that you need financially. Okay, so it could be saying imbalances in relationships. So okay, so you could be tied to certain relationships. These could be work relationships. These could be family relationships. This could be a spousal relationship. Could be a lot of things. But it seems like there's something here maybe that's been holding you back financially, and maybe this is why this kind of reorganization and second look is being called for here. In the third house, we have petitgrain. Okay, that's the oil, and the keyword is independence. Our trigger statement is, I am just like my quote-unquote mother, father, etc. True statement, I am free to choose. You are ready to break free of conditioning that has bound you so you may continue on your journey of healing and growth. Okay. So the fact that this is showing up with Buckle of Isis can also mean that we are separating from the collective, so that we are pulling away from a relationship or situation. And with this suggests to me that you may be breaking ancestral patterns or family ties right now. There's something that you're breaking away from. You are free to choose, okay? And Buckle of Isis says this pulling away, I think, is going to be worth it. If this has to do with a business, now this is also the house of brothers and sisters, so you can take that if it resonates. But the fact that this is showing up here, this is showing up in a period, okay, this is, like I said, this is the Mercury house. Mercury is going to be retrograde. So I feel like you're going to be, the area where you're going to see the need for correction is where you might see ancestral patterns that you need to break with regard to your communications with others, maybe with regard to how you're thinking about business, if you are thinking about going in your own business. Interesting. There's this sense that I would say then with Buckle of Isis that means you need to break away. You need to be independent from people or situations. And there's a strong ancestral feel to that. And we have it, of course, Lotus is saying, you know, if there has been anxiety about that, not to have it. Okay, your card here is celery seed oil, and it says the keyword is cleanse. The trigger statement is there's no answer. The true statement is I am the answer. The aligned outcome for you is simple, but not necessarily easy. Commit to your goals to heart each day, and note every single action will take you closer to them. Yeah, so I feel like some of you maybe have been stuck in some kind of issues that are around family. But what's happening during retrograde now, I think, is this is the time where this is kind of like, no, I'm free to choose. I'm the answer. You know, I don't need to behave with reference to the past. I don't need to repeat old scripts. That said, it is pointing out that this is not an easy thing to do. When something is traditional or ancestral, people might think of it as quote unquote hardwired. That does make things difficult for us sometimes. You know, we know we need to break away from something, but it may not be that easy. But you may have an opportunity now. Okay, so let's look at this fifth house. You have the black spruce oil card here, and the keyword is restore. And the trigger statement is I am broken. And the true statement is I'm illuminated. As you release your attachment to the high and low, you find peace and balance. Honor the cycles of your body and energy now. Okay. So the fact that we're seeing this energy of broken, of something that needs to be restored, and we're seeing this, for some of you, this could suggest to me that there could be this difficulty. If this does have to do with love, this could be a past relationship that's coming back. Maybe something that's going to revive itself as a friendship. Maybe somebody who you, maybe it was somebody where there was a love attachment, but if I look at it in light of what I was saying in comparison to these two houses, this could also be that somebody feels that they are broken right now and needs to take time out to restore. That may be why a certain situation is not coming to fruition. This would almost be like their thought. They need time to restore, and once they've taken that time, then they will then they will be able to respond to you in the way that, or in a relationship that's appropriate. And yeah, so if I compare it with this one, I'm just going to jump to your Libra house. Our oil here is the digestive oil, and the keyword here is processing. And the trigger statement is, I am so worried. The true statement is, I have the solution. Slowing down and listening to your inner voice will provide you with direction and purpose. And yeah, that perfectly fits with Urias, because Urias is saying what is on the outside and what's apparent, which you may be worried about, is not the reality. Listen to your inner voice. Somewhere inside, you already know what the answer is here, and you don't want to simply go on externals and on past patterns. There's something more that's going on here in a relationship situation. Now, for some people, this could have to do with love. Maybe this is within a marriage, because this is the house of marriage. It can also have to do with business partnerships. So again, depending on where you are in life, this is a general reading. Take it as it resonates. But there's some kind of a partnership. Somebody's broken here and feels like they need to take time to restore. It's not really about you. The appearances are not necessarily the reality, and yet it does seem like you are worried about something. But this is saying, take heart, because what you're seeing is not necessarily what it is. Take a second look, but look with your intuition. Don't just look with your eyes. Okay, so if we go down to the sixth house, with the Ankh, we have the card of bergamot oil, and the keyword is expansion. Okay, I'm not really holding these very close, am I? The trigger statement is I'm not enough. The true statement is I love myself. Your tender heart is in need of care. Know that your body is here to help you experience a miraculous life. Embrace it. Wow. Yeah. So this kind of fits in what we're seeing financially here. This is the idea that it's time for you to expand. And we're seeing this expansion up here too. So I just think for some of you, maybe you need to, maybe there's a job situation where you feel like you've outgrown it, or maybe you've been made to feel somehow like you're not enough in this particular situation. And this is saying, no, don't, again, this is another one of those situations like the family thing. Don't let a situation that may be connected to a job, or maybe even some of you have issues around health or worry about health, or somehow you feel that you're lacking or not enough. And this is saying you're absolutely not lacking. You're definitely very full of life here. And it says help you to experience a miraculous life. So you are you need to move into a space of, this is a card of love, and this is telling you to love yourself. So that self-love is going to go a long way towards alleviating your worries, towards solving job difficulties or difficulties about your future with that, and also about your, let me see this for a minute. Yeah, about your, about how you might be feeling just about, and also about your physical health as well. So, yeah. It's funny, this strikes me as the Chiron and Aries wound for some people, but that's what jumps into my mind. But anyway, moving on to the 8th house. Okay, so with the twins, we have the blue tansy card. The keyword here is ignite. And the trigger statement is, where do I go from here? The true statement is, I allow life to flow through me. Inspiration has arrived and will work through you as you move forward. Okay, so this can suggest that you are at a crossroads right now. The twins could be, like I said, there could be a joint financial arrangement, or this could just be that somebody is going to be coming in, maybe who is going to help you on your path or show you the way. Maybe that's going to be the focus. But yeah, it does seem you are at a point where it's kind of saying go with the flow on things, because you are in a time of change. And maybe because you were at the beginning of something, you're not really exactly sure where you're headed right now. But you will have that inspiration, and it may come through another person here with the twins. Let's look up with the Scarab card here in the 9th house. We have the Oregano Oil card, and the keyword is resonance. Our trigger statement is, I am right. The true statement is, I'm open to the unknown. Ooh, wow. And of course in this house, which is about expanding your horizons. You are being shown what is dissonant in your life, allowing beliefs that are not serving you to fall away and be open to your bright future. Okay, so this, again, we're seeing this theme around changing your beliefs, changing your viewpoint. Okay, there's going to be things that are going to open you up, and perhaps there's going to be either a new spiritual path or something having to do with schooling that is going to open up your mind to a different way of looking at things and doing things. With Isis in the 10th house, we have Copaiba oil. That's really weird. Copaiba. Yeah, I think that's right. And so this is with the Isis card here, which we had said had to do either something with mothering or something with patience. And the trigger statement is, I am ashamed. The true statement is, I am cherished. And the key word here is worthy. There are connections, ancestral and childhood memories that are ready to be healed. Allow divine light to shine within. Yeah, so there may be, again, it's funny. You have in your job houses, I'm ashamed and I'm not enough. Okay? Like there's something about what you're doing where you feel like you have to hide your light under a bushel, like somehow you're not. And these are both things that are saying, okay, because Isis in this case could mean self-nurturing, caring about yourself. Having patience with yourself and working towards what it is that you love. But you've got this idea of it's time for you to expand and that you are worthy of doing so. So let's look at the 11th house here with Anubis. We have the lemon oil, and our keyword here is clarity. Your trigger statement is, I'm so confused. And the true statement is, I'm present. Allow your mind to clear and let the noise of your thoughts fall away. Listen to your intuition. Okay, so again, it's funny we're having this idea of going to your intuition in something having to do with relationships. So I feel like there's something here where there is some confusion. Maybe you are protecting yourself a little bit, but again, whatever's going on with a particular situation, your intuition will tell you whether any confusion you have about connections, whether it's warranted, or to bring yourself some clarity on what that connection might mean. And with Thoth here in the 12th house, we have fennel oil. And the trigger statement is, it's not my fault. The true statement is, I take full responsibility. And the key word is discern. Shift into your body and listen. Release emotions that you have been storing and move forward. Okay. So I think what this is, yeah, there seems to be a lot here around shame and blame and your worthiness for something. And this seems to suggest to me, though, that you're going to be easing. In both of these houses, there's a sense of you easing into a new future and into a new place. So I think rather than making the blame game, perhaps with this may be the karmic things. It may be like, okay, acknowledge maybe where mistakes were made. Don't beat yourself up over it, because everybody occasionally doesn't make the right decision on something. And that's okay. I mean, that's how you learn in life, okay? There's a whole lot here around learning. Your overall middle card is pink pepper. The key word here is grace. And your trigger statement is, what do they have that I don't? True statement is, we're all special. Allow your inner critic to be silenced as you find the perfection in yourself and those around you. And yeah, you have it with pyramid that suggests a test. So I feel, yeah, overall, I do think that there's going to be changes here with your finances. You're getting things organized. You will succeed and you will overcome issues of self-doubt by just easing into what's going on and allowing yourself to not putting so much pressure on yourself. Definitely a whole lot here about disconnecting from old patterns and learning to love yourself. And also, it's trying to alleviate worries about love or about a relationship. Again, could be a business partnership too, or marriage, but you know, alleviating things are not what they appear. There's either a person or a situation or something that appears to be broken right now. But again, just kind of releasing attachments to highs and lows, honor cycles. So yeah, it could just be that somebody's either on a low right now, or maybe if you're having a creative block, again, you may just want to honor the cycle, and it more or less implies that things will cycle around again. And wow, the two cards that came up for you were Scorpio and 8th house, which are basically the same kind of energy. You're going through a massive transformation here, Libra. This is really a profound. The fact that both of these came up for you. So there may be a lot going on, and this actually would probably, I think a lot of stuff is being dug up. So I think a lot of ancestral patterns are being dug up to be cleared in all areas. And I think that this is also saying that there may be people in situations that you're suspicious of, because a lot of times this is where you worry about hidden enemies and things like that. Maybe that's why the twins is coming up over here. But it just seems to be saying, like, no, that you just need to get in touch with your intuition and seek clarity about things, because your gut feeling, your instinct about things is going to be more accurate than what you're seeing in front of your face right now. But be assured, there is a deep transformation, and so I think you are on the verge of a big change. Right now, like I said, there's a few tests going on, but you do need to recognize that you can meet the challenge and that you are worthy of what's coming next. So, wow, this was interesting. So you can let me know what you think. I do hope this reading was helpful. If you did like it, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed and you would like to be notified about these videos, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.